So we need to understand the security roles that should be outlined in the security program. Now, data owner, a lot of people in the corporate world aren't as familiar with a data owner. In the government, in the military, they're very familiar because they follow very structured security. So a data owner is somebody who's responsible for a set of data. So let's say that there's a VP that is over accounting. That VP would be the data owner for all of the accounting information, means that they're responsible for ensuring that that data is protected. Now, they're not responsible for configuring the access controls or doing the operational issues. What they have to do is set a classification. The classification of the data indicates the level of protection that's required. So a data owner is responsible for classifying data, and that in turn protects, they're setting the protection level of the information. It's the custodian that's actually going to do the day in, day out configuration, installation of software devices. So the data owner sets the classification. The custodian, which is usually the IT department, will do the actual setup, the configurations, the software and everything to make sure it meets the classification level. Because the lower the classification level, the less amount of controls you need. The higher the classification, the more controls have to be in place. And then there's the auditor. Not everybody loves the auditors because they're going to come around and find out what you're not doing right. But really, security people should look at auditors in a different light. They can help you with your business, what you're trying to tell the business people. A lot of people think auditors are just going to come around and say, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, and then maybe you're going to get in trouble. But if you're actually practicing security the way that you are supposed to, a lot of times you'll have gaps that you want to get fixed, but you don't have the funds, or you don't have the acknowledgement, or nobody's looking at it or paying attention to it. So once auditors come around, they can mark you off on that, and then you can go to management and say, okay, not only do I say that we need to do this, the auditors say that we need to do this. And auditing is becoming a bigger thing because of all the regulations. Most large organizations have internal auditors that are ensuring the compliancy to the policy, and then there's external auditors that will come and make sure the company is compliant with the regulations. Now, one thing that's important to understand is who is approving access to any type of resource. Unfortunately, in some environments, it's up to IT. They're setting up the accounts, they're assigning the privileges and the permissions, and that's not how it should be, because they don't have that liability. It should be somebody at a higher level that actually assigns access. And we're going to get more into that in identity management and Domain 2. But right now, what I want to get across is there's data owners who will set the classification. By them setting the classification, that indicates who can access this data. It's not IT's job or anybody else's job to say who can access this data. It's the data owner. They're responsible for not what it means to set the classification. It means who can actually access this.